New explosive details emerge on Hillary's Uranium-1 scam by Amy Moreno for truthfeednews.com. There appears to be much more to the Uranium-1 story than we originally realized. Did Hillary get a twofer? Meaning, did she get an even bigger sweet deal involving land in return for the uranium she sold to Russia? From the Washington Examiner, most sapient Americans, those who are skeptical of the mainstream media, know the outrageous but largely unreported story that Bill and Hillary Clinton, with the help of Obama officials and over congressional experts' objections, allowed Russia to gain control of 20% of America's uranium supplies. What is unknown is whether the Clintons sweetened the deal for their Russian friends by engineering closure of 1 million federal acres of the nation's best source of uranium. The evidence of such mischief is purely circumstantial, but it is disconcerting. Here is what we know thanks to the reporting of the estimable Andrew C. McCarthy, the essential Peter Schweitzer, and the indefatigable DeRoy Murdoch in March 2010. Then Secretary of State Clinton traveled to Russia to meet with then Prime Minister Vladimir Putin. In June, Bill Clinton was gifted $500,000 by a Russian bank with close connections to Putin's government for a special speech in Moscow. In October of 2010, the Obama administration, with the blessing of the State Department, run by Hillary Clinton, allowed the Russians to purchase a company called Uranium-1, which controls more than 20% of American uranium. There is even more intrigue, all worthy of a Stephen Kuntz's novel, a Russian agent in Maryland involved in extortion, fraud, and international money laundering, a Washington, D.C. lobbyist, who, hearing danger afoot, became an FBI informant, congressional critics decrying the takeover of essential U.S. nuclear resources by a government-owned Russian agency, non-disclosure by the FBI of its investigation into Russia's racketeering and strong-arming as the administration considered the Russian acquisition the transfer of $145 million to the Clinton Foundation by sources tied to the Uranium-1 deal. Prolonging of the FBI investigation for years, and indictments and slap on the wrist sentencing of the agent and his conspirators just before Labor Day and Christmas, all without fanfare. Oh, and the informant? The FBI forced him to sign a non-disclosure agreement enforceable even against Congress. What Obama made Campbell sign, that's what they're talking about. We know how important uranium is. America's 104th nuclear power plants give electrical life to 1 in every 5 American homes and businesses. The Navy fleet is largely nuclear, and uranium is essential to our nuclear arsenal. Even so, the U.S. is 90% dependent on foreign sources for it. Half comes from Russia. Obviously, America should develop its uranium. Okay, the highest uranium potential in the country, according to the federal government, is on lands managed by the U.S. Forest Service and Bureau of Land Management in Arizona. Well, north of Grand Canyon National Park, enough to power New York City for 6 decades. Thus, since 1984, the federal government has kept those lands open for mineral exploration and development. In July of 2009, however, the acting director of the BLM proposed a study to determine if it were appropriate to close the area to mining to protect the Grand Canyon. The area was closed for 2 years, and the study began. In July of 2011, before the agencies completed the study, Secretary of the Interior Ken Salazar ordered an emergency withdrawal, and then 6 months later withdrew the entire area from all mining for 20 years. Oddly, his new grab bag of reasons was not listed in the BLM's application, nor was it supported by underlying documents. Finally, he took pains to destroy the validity of the valuable claims held by scores of small miners represented by the Mountain States Legal Foundation. Was it purely coincidental that in mid-2011 the Uranium One deal completed the previous October? Salazar, a friend of the Clintons, saw yet another reason to kill uranium mining in Arizona for decades. Did others help? John Podesta, Bill's former chief of staff and Hillary's 2016 campaign manager, was the hidden hand involved in every environmental advancement accomplished in the Clinton and Obama administration, says top Clinton official Bruce Babbitt of Arizona. Was he involved in this effort to placate environmental groups? Can we put anything past the Clintons? Does anyone care? I wouldn't put it past them. Absolutely. So, yeah, but I don't understand. Did they sell the land to them? I don't really get it, you know. She goes on and on about the story, but doesn't make it simple to understand. Did they, what? She gave the land to the Russians? What did she do? I don't know. She just stopped the mining over there in Arizona? And John Podesta was behind everything. Well, you know, and they're getting away with all of this stuff, you know, whatever it may be. And I'm sure it's worse than we know. Exactly like the title says, you know. But I wouldn't put anything past her, you know. This woman did not care at all about America. Did not care. She only wanted to put money in her pocket, and she says, you know what? Since I can do it, I can make money off land that and uranium that was America's, and she made the money off of it. I mean, really think about what she did. That's treasonous. It is treasonous, and she's still walking around gloating, and the idiots give her standing ovations when she comes into the restaurant. Instead of throwing a tomato in her face, she gets a, you know, they clap when they see her. You know what I'm saying? She should be ashamed to show her face in public, yet she prances around like a proud peacock, like she's untouchable. And she's a high and mighty. And for women's rights, which is a crock all in itself. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.